Hello everyone, this is Matt Baranowski with Storm Central. It's around 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time on Thursday night, September 8th, 2011. Just wanted to bring everyone up to date on the multiple cyclones we have in the Atlantic, Bay of Campeche, and way out in the Atlantic there. Alright, let's get started with the National Hurricane Center. This is the latest on NATE. We're looking at a tropical storm as the 7 p.m. advisory moving stationary at 70 miles per hour with the sustained winds, minimal pressure being 994. Taking a look at Maria, she is also way out there. Going to start nearing the islands into Puerto Rico in the next couple of days. 8 p.m. Moving very fast at 21 miles per hour, 1005 millibars here. And as for Katia, which we are not worried about anymore, never was real threat impact to land, 5 p.m. advisory being 85 miles per hour, moving north at 16 miles per hour. Let's take a look at all these cyclones here. Now, once again, we do have Nate. Nate is located in the Bay of Campeche right now, and Nate is actually looking pretty well, as you do have that northerly flow coming up here, and you have the high pressure out in portions of Texas and New Mexico. But there's nothing that's really going to pull this northward, which I'll talk about in a little bit. We have Katia that is out in the Atlantic, about the off the coast, 400 or 500 miles off the coast of Cape Hatteras areas here. Not bringing any real rain shower activity. What's really bringing the flooding rains right now is Lee, the remnants of Lee, which is going to affect portions of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Wisconsin for the next 48 hours. And the next thing we have is Maria. Maria's out over here, like I was saying. She is a tropical storm at the moment, and should be nearing Barbados and the islands over the next few days. Now let me talk about the model comparisons right now. Here's Tropical Storm Nate, and basically you have two flows coming in here. Where is this thing going to take it? The latest model run just came in, and we have this even more scattered. This is the older update, not too much older, so I'll show it though anyways. But we do have these models either coming into portions of Mexico, or we have a stream northward. Now, right now, conditions aren't super favorable upwards, north, and we do have some dry air, some shear. So if we were to go northward, some models are taking this quite weak. As we'll take a look at a model is 36 miles per hour. That likely will not happen. Excuse me, but it could be a tropical storm, maybe a low hurricane, as we can get into those areas if that were to occur. Now, if we were taking it to Mexico, this could be a Cat 2 hurricane easily. As this thing is moving stationary, these are very warm waters. Take this thing northward, and then northwestward, and then slowly westward. We could have a problem here with flooding rains, some wind event too. Now we're going to go northward into with Katia here, and as you can see, it's on the right hand screen here, as we have Katia, and as you can see, what I was saying, she's way off the coast about, let's do the measurement here, about 300 to 400 miles off the coast of Cape Hatteras. She is going to stay off the coast, as we had predicted here, and just continue moving in these areas. Could affect portions of the UK in the next few days. Now, what's going to go on with Maria? This is a very interesting situation here. As you can see, all the models runs are right there in order. Then you see this split. Run syndicates into portions of Puerto Rico. We see this very large split here. This is where right now, not all the certainty is coming. Now, we had these things going way northward, following a Katia track, and this has been brought southward as the latest run way southward here. Now, actually, what I am going to do, which I am going to release my tracks later on, is bring this thing a little farther south, going into portions of the Dominican Republic, and could impact the Bahamas coming into later in the week. This is very, very something to watch. Turks and Caicos, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, all these areas have to watch out. Now, as for it right now, it's been weakening, strengthening. Don't know what it's going to be doing, but all I know right now is it's not favorable at the moment for super development. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the steering pattern here. And we're going to zoom in a bit. And let's see if we can get the zoom going here. There we go. Zoom in, bring it in a bit. Alright, there we go. So we do have the pattern shown on the map here. As we'll bring it a little closer. Now, what I want you to do is keep special attention. This is right now. That low located right here in Indiana and Ohio, that is the remnants of Lee. You have the northerly flow that's bringing showers and thunderstorms. 4 portions of Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York is causing all the flooding. That's coming off the waters of the Atlantic, bringing all the moisture, and that's basically a southerly feed. Feeding into a northerly feed right now as we have the dip in the jet stream coming round and around and above from the high way up there in Canada. Now as you go through the next few days, note how low this jet stream goes, okay? Now, right now, that's where the current look is. If we get that, what we need is something to pull this thing northward. If this would occur, we could see landfall into either Florida, Mississippi, or Alabama. If we get that pull, that trough jet stream to go south, because remember, we have the Bermuda High right here. So we got the Bermuda High, and you got the southerly jet coming in here. If we get something to pull this thing northward, we can have a situation for portions of Florida and or Mississippi. Now going through the next few days, this is going to go into day 5. Now this is what we could see going on. Now if this occurs, we could see a tropical storm hurricane into portions of Florida, but it all depends on how it pans out. Right now, we have nothing moving this thing. It's stationary. There's no flow to it. What they're thinking is, what I'm thinking, or what the models have been thinking instead, is we can get this thing going into Mexico, but I'm just not hopped on board onto that yet. So let's go to the next model comparisons here. Let's widen out the view, and we'll spread it out a little. And as you can see, going through this, we have the GFS. GFS is showing Katia way out there, and also Maria being brought out. Now, the CMC is bringing very close into the Bahamas, very close to the Carolinas. Still not that strong, though. So this is definitely something to watch. As for once again, like I was saying, we're going to go to when this thing needs to be pulled up. You got the low right there. When does this thing need to be pulled up? I'll show you right now. So we're going into these areas. It's still struggling right there 60 hours from now. You see that southerly jet coming in here. It's off the coast. If we get that thing to pull northward, that's what we want. If you guys want a storm, if you don't want a storm, we want this thing to go into Mexico. So basically that's what we're looking for. That's what the situation is on the steering pattern. As for Maria, she's going to keep trotting around until we can see more and more information coming in about where the steering pattern for this is going to go. I got the Bermuda High. It's going to be spiraling around. Question is, will the Bermuda High drift a little west to allow this thing to sneak up? Will a trough come in and pull this thing northward? That's the current thinking, but when is that trough going to come in? Storms, this is all about timing. That's why I do not like doing a current path. As this thing, like with Irene, we had almost this very typical situation going on. Will it go over these areas, or will it be pulled north? Will it go into the Gulf? Well, it ended up doing absolutely none of that. So that's why the situation has to be very watched closely. Alright, this is Matt with Storm Central. Stay tuned to the tropics, everyone. As for the severe weather, we don't have any organized severe weather for tonight into tomorrow, as just that southerly northerly feed coming into Washington, D.C. will provide some very heavy rain that could see some hail to gusty winds. As for tomorrow's severe weather, we do not have any organized severe weather. Heavy rain for portions of Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois are possible. I'll be camping this weekend in portions of Indiana, so just be aware of that. So I'll be getting wet too, but there will be no updates this weekend. Excuse me on that. Everyone stay tuned to Storm Central for the latest. We'll keep you updated. This has been Matt, Storm Central. Glad to be back, and have a great night.